Peace and blessings, and happy Thursday, y'all. One more sleep to the weekend, as Michelle would say. Yeah, we're getting close. And I just want to say good morning and thanks to everyone that's listening, whatever time it is you're listening. This is DVJ&MICHELLE, and this is the Cold World Podcast, coming to you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's get some coffee going. Yeah. Morning, baby. Yeah, it is. Oh, wait. One more sleep, right?
One more sleep till the weekend.
One more sleep till the weekend. And we're going to see
I'm looking forward to it. She's so funny.
I disagree. I don't think she's that funny, but I'm going to support because she's a black comedian. I mean, I don't think she's not good. I'm picky when it comes to comedians. Like, she's not going to make me like this. I'm not going to be sitting there. My stomach won't be hurting from laughing. You know what I mean? Now, will I be like, I'm sure I'll laugh, but I'm saying it ain't going to be. And maybe her comedy's different, though. Well, it's not, but we'll see how much she cusses and stuff.
Right.
Because that does make a comedy sketch. It does when you add they're like exclamation points when you cuss. I think in a comedy skit you have to cuss. It'd be like watered down without it.
I love her dry sense of humor. Like, I enjoy that type of humor.
Yeah, but we're going to go and, we're going with the fam. I was telling everyone earlier.
Oh, okay.
Let's go to see you on the side. So where is it playing at, baby? Again?
Riverside.
At the Riverside, yeah. Riverside. Check that out. I'm going to miss, football will be over because it's at night, so.
Yeah.
But I would have went anyways. Window World. Who did you see in the commercial, baby? Who did you see putting that window in? It was a Latin guy.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. That's what I was thinking. I had put an audio clip on the episode earlier from it sounds to me like I think a lot of it is bogus narrative. I think I'm going to dare say for the most part people are for immigration, I feel, in these smaller communities. Because I just did a little thing on the podcast about Whitewater. They have a lot of immigrants up there.
Oh, really?
A lot. They have a full bag. White migrants, black, brown. And the police chief up there even said that he's for them having driver's licenses and all that kind of stuff and health care. Like, shouldn't we all have a right to be healthy no matter where we are in the world or where we're going or where we're headed to? And it's a positive ripple effect. Because if a migrant comes over here, they're undocumented, you have no way of identifying them, and they're driving around, they kill somebody, aren't you going to want to know who they are and want to be able to find them and all that kind of stuff or whatever? So that means they need driver's licenses. That means...
Don't they know the rules of the road?
All of that. So, right. Like, why? So, it doesn't make sense. So the stuff that people are complaining about that they think migrants are coming over to do, commit crime, be rapists and all that stuff, well, if you really believe that, then that would be more reason to get them IDs, get them health care, get them driver's licenses. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we know where people are. Because that's their whole argument. 6 officers investigated in one town. Officers retired or resigned from force in Waterford.
Before the investigation is finished, one investigation into a full-time officer is still ongoing. Nikolai would not give any specifics about the investigations Wednesday, but did give examples of the misconduct.
We had a weapon that was put into an unlocked drawer. I mean, not following proper protocol.
Nikolai also bringing up an incident this year where an assault call went unanswered for 8 minutes because a Waterford police officer was asleep on the job.
What?
The board says other officers were investigated for harassment, discrimination, and...
We're going to do some more digging into this. That's crazy. Dude looks like he just got out the bed. Did he even brush his mouth?
Records we obtained show the Waterford board looked into Ferger after learning the Shenango Police Department fired him for lying about being late to a shift.
Probably shouldn't rise to the level of termination, but that's the level they've taken it, and more than half the department is gone due to either resignation or...
Wow. He said half the department, so they're saying you only got 12 officers in?
Waterford's kind of tiny.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. They're going to start hiring migrants as cops. And people are going to be mad at that. Which they're already doing, too, in some towns. I think, actually, we did a report on that one. Oh, the community where they're hiring all the felons. Because the town, there was literally no one there. They started literally hiring felons and shit like that. And then they had to fire them all because they were reoffending. They had cops that were on probation and shit and parole. But I can't vote.
Interesting fun fact. That board member lady that was talking, Terry
McLean or whatever her name was?
Nikolai.
Yeah.
She's the lady that her ex-husband put her in a drum and then into a storage facility. And they found her in Gurnee, Illinois, I think.
That lady that was just talking?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you remember that story?
I do not. Whoa.
Her ex-husband kidnapped her, injured her, like beat her up or whatever, put her in a drum, and then put her in a storage unit, like left her to die, and they ended up finding her. I don't know how.
What?
I'm assuming, because they were looking at him and then realized that he had rented a storage unit and went there, found her. She lost some fingers, I think, from frostbite, and possibly a foot, maybe?
Wow. I did not hear about that.
I think I want to say her previous name was Jendusky.
Oh, wow. So I'm going to hope and say that the dude is locked up in prison.
I believe so.
Whoa, we're going to have to do might have to dive in on that one. Maybe a little lake dive.
I knew her voice sounded familiar.
Yeah, y'all, it's Thursday. It's basically the weekend no more. One more sleep, like Michelle always says.
Yep, one more sleep till the weekend.
Yep.
That's what I said when I woke up this morning. I went to bed.
I fell asleep before you did, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to bed, it was maybe midnight. And the next thing I knew, my alarm clock was going off. Usually I wake up, here or there throughout the night.
Yeah.
Not at all. Maybe that's why I don't feel like crap.
Yeah, I feel well rested today.
Yeah. I went down a rabbit hole. I started watching Hoarders. And I realized there was a season I had not watched.
What? We're binging the hell out of King and Queens, too.
Yeah, that too. Such a funny show.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah, I went down a rabbit hole, watched one whole episode, And then it was like 11 something, and I'm like, oh, I can watch another one.
Mm-hmm.
But then I laid down, and I was like, I'm kind of tired. So
let this Miles Davis roll out, y'all, for a minute. About a minute left. This is off that Summertime album. Go check it out. Miles Davis. There's a boat that's leaving soon for New York. It's Miles Davis, Porgy and Bess, Summertime. It ain't necessarily so. There's a boat that's leaving soon for New York. Be safe and take on the day. A little music interlude. This is Styles P. It's called The Ghost. This song is basically he's talking about one of his guys just getting out the joint and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, and how that goes. It's about a minute and a half here.
My little man Jamel is fresh out of jail, he dead broke, and it look like he thinking to raise hell, cause his mans ain't greeting him right, and his ends ain't meeting him right, and he ain't eating that right, he got nightmares, so he ain't even sleeping at night, he get the hood and get the gun, he be creeping at night, niggas trapped about cat and the big nigga, knocking off crackers, mad rats in the crib, nigga, his mom's stressed out, his girl is tired of him, cross town niggas catch his ass, they gon' fire on him. He wanna leave now, but he can't relocate. Just enough cash for a soap and his cold gate. Barely get enough clothes, barely get enough kicks. Living on some rough shit, so he on some tough shit.
Yeah, groceries are expensive though, but we can't be blaming that on Kamala Harris and shit and Joe Biden because the grocery prices are too high. And then Kamala said that was one of the things she wanted to do was get rid of the price gouging and all this, you know what I'm saying? So groceries could be a little cheaper, you know what I mean? But like, we didn't want that. Y'all wanted the orange man instead. Y'all traded in. That's just crazy to me. But look, I just stopped at the store. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items. I have 8 items in my bags. 8 items. Shit came out to $48. You know what I'm saying? So, but gas is cheap. But see, that's the thing about these groceries and all that kind of stuff. We still have to go to the grocery store. So at the end of the day and shit, like even if people are going to complain about groceries, like we still got to go to the grocery store. Same thing with gas. Even if like you say gas could be like $5 a gallon, we're still going to have to buy it because we got to drive our cars. We'll complain about it, but we're going to go fill the tank up at the same while we're complaining about it. Same thing with cigarettes. Like I smoke cigarettes. I know it's a nasty habit. But shit, you know what I'm saying? We're all doing something we probably shouldn't do that's unhealthy for us. So, yeah. So I don't even give that any energy when people are like, oh, smoke is nasty. Yeah, like, what are you doing that's nasty? But like that, I remember when I first started smoking cigarettes, they were $2 a pack. Now you're paying, what, about $11, $12 for a pack? You know, some places will have that, like if you buy 2 packs, you know what I'm saying, they'll be cheaper and stuff like that. If you hit like a Speedway up. Yeah, shout out Speedway. As a matter of fact, right now, Well, at least the one I know, there's one out in Glendale, here in Wisconsin. I'm sure they're most like that, but like if you buy 2 packs, I think they're like $9.49 or something like that per pack if you buy 2. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely save money buying 2 packs. But yeah, like with that, like cigarettes were $2 when I first started smoking. So you know what I'm saying? They're like $12 now, but I still smoke. Like even though I might complain about the prices of the cigarettes, sometimes it's like I know that I smoke. That's something I'm going to do, so there's no point in me even complaining about the prices if I'm going to be buying the cigarettes all the time. You know what I'm saying? Just like that's that one thing, like with this inflation and like groceries being too much and like all of that goes, like groceries being too expensive, all that shit goes into the economy. That all falls under the economy umbrella. And I'd be willing to say that the majority of us, we frivolously spend money, or we spend money on things we don't need at the grocery store. I actually didn't today. I bought just the shit that we needed, because we got to do more. Like, we're going to do some online grocery shopping later, but just for the little, like, 8 or 9 items or whatever I had in my bag, shit was almost $50. But I'm saying, like, the majority of us, I do it a lot too, we buy stuff we don't need. How many of y'all have done that? You're at the grocery store, you're either at the self-checkout, or you're at the cashier line or whatever, you're standing there. How many of us end up grabbing a soda or a Snicker, you know what I'm saying, or a Reese cup or something while we're standing at the line? We didn't need it, we don't need it, we just grabbed it. So that, you know what I'm saying? So we end up, just throughout a day, we probably end up, that's one thing too, like, we can't complain about inflation and the economy and all stuff being all expensive, groceries, this gas and all this, but then we're going and buying fucking Starbucks every morning. You know what I mean? People don't need to go to Starbucks every day. That's not something that is a necessity. That's a want and a like. Because most people that drink coffee have a coffee maker at the crib where they can make coffee. We make coffee every day. We buy the good stuff, but we make it ourselves. Like, I just picked up a bag of Collectivo coffee, the ground, you know what I'm saying? Ground it up, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of going to Starbucks, just imagine if you're someone that goes to Starbucks every day, or let's just say you go 5 days a week, you don't go on the weekend, you kind of brew coffee at the crib on the weekends, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to go to work or whatever. So let's just say you're going to Starbucks 5 times a week, let's say probably about like twice a day, potentially. You're spending let's just say about $5 on a cup of coffee. So if you do that twice a day, so you're spending like $10 on coffee every day. And that's if you don't buy a cup for nobody else. You might end up buying a cup of coffee for a coworker, or, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. You might end up getting your little scone or a muffin or something with your order. But let's just say you get 2 cups of coffee every day, 5 days a week. Right? So you're paying, so that's $50 on coffee. Just in a week. $50. You know how many bags of coffee you could buy? You could go and buy, like the bag of Collectivo I bought from the store was $12. So I could buy damn near 4 bags of that for the amount that people spend on coffee in a week just going to Starbucks. Just think of that. And you can make it as strong or as weak as you can make it to your liking. You ain't got to stand in line and wait. You ain't got to get nobody a tip. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you can't go generic on coffee. You can't go generic on like Tylenol, like Advil, that kind of stuff. Toilet paper you can't go cheap on. Yeah, those are a handful of things that I say you can't go generic on. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta get the real deal on that stuff. Yep. And generic cigarettes too. If you're gonna smoke, you gotta just smoke the real deal. That'd be like the equivalent of someone that smokes weed smoking Reggie. Like, why would you voluntarily buy Reggie? Alright, y'all.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for listening to the podcast. And shout out our new listeners from Texas. I see Texas checked in with us. So shout y'all out. Yeah, but maybe one day the state of Texas will become blue. Can become a blue state. Because if you look at their voting block, like, you know, the majority of their voters, because, you know, you can go in every state and they'll tell you, like, the voting base and the voting group, like, by ethnicity and race and all that stuff. Like, 55%, it might have changed, but I know it's pretty close. The last time I checked, it was like 55% of Texas voters were white, you know, Caucasian. So that means the other 45% is black and brown and stuff like that. So then I was asking myself, why is a state like Texas always red if the voting base, you know, between white, black, and brown is that close? You know, 55-45, that's close enough to where that state could potentially be blue. You know what I'm saying? So let's get Texas blue. Because that's part of the reason that, like them Republicans and shit like that, they don't care about a state like California remaining blue. Because in their mind, they're like, oh, you Democrats, you can have blue California. We don't give a shit. Because we'll match that with Texas. Because Texas has almost the same amount of electoral votes as Cali does. I think there's maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 electoral vote difference. I think one's like 54 and the other one's like 52 or something like that. So yeah, them punk ass Republicans, they don't care about a state like Cali being blue because they X that out with Texas. You know what I mean? So yeah. But I ain't gonna lie, some of that stuff with the election, the way it was won, does seem a little fishy to me. But I'm not gonna complain about it if the people that, you know, were actually in the race, if they're not gonna complain about it, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is like, you know, we've all been dealing with these presidential elections and all the racism and just all the classism, the sexism, just all the stuff, right, that gets done to black and brown people. Whether it's systemic, whether it's people saying shit to us or just treating us like crap or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We've been going through this stuff long enough. Like, we should know how to navigate through this stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna be alright. I've been to prison, boot camp. I've been segregation 3 different times. Been in the hole. So I've been on parole for fucking over 12 years. Like, this ain't shit to me. I'm saying it is, but you know what I'm saying. Like when COVID hit, I was like, COVID is a piece of cake. I've been in positions where you literally can't go anywhere. At least we can go outside. At least we can go to the store. At least we, you know what I'm saying? When you're in prison, you can't do none of that shit. Just, you know, wait and be patient. Stand in line for everything. Because in prison, you're waiting for everything. Waiting to go home. Waiting in line for your laundry. Waiting in line to eat. Waiting in line to go to gym. Waiting in line to get a haircut. Waiting in line to get, you know, property if you order some. You know, in prison, you're always in wait mode. You're always waiting. That's why I always tell Michelle, I'm the most patient person she knows, actually. Even though she'd probably disagree with that. But in actuality, yeah. So I've dealt with these type of people before and all that kind of stuff. These white supremacists, a lot of them are corrections officers, shit like that, police officers. So I know how to deal with them. I'm going to be good. So, but yeah. So I'm battle tested, basically. But either way, you know, keep yourself safe out here. Do something good for somebody. And, yeah. Peace, y'all. Go, man. Go.
No, sir. So you were going to get out and pump the pump of gas. You have to pump the gas. No, I went to multiple pumps at this gas station thinking, all right, maybe this one's out. Why do gas Jersey non-convenience stores exist if you're not 24 hours. It's the easiest money to make.
That's
You have the incentive paying the rent or whatever it is for the location, but you don't have to pay employees. With all respect, though, the gas stations still don't get their money. Oh, I understand. They're still going to get their money.
As someone who spends a lot of time in New Jersey does two things better than any other state: the gas situation and a deli. The delis in New Jersey are the best in the country. You cannot convince me otherwise.
In New York?
Because, well, it's a different type of deli. In New Jersey, you're getting a sub sandwich. You're getting like a macaroni salad.
That's the same as New York.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same type of stuff.
Deli are a little
Little Dave East and Method Man, y'all.
Try to keep our heads up in bad times. Show us the way. And if you can't show us the way, forgive us for being low. When I walked in the building screams, fill up them jeans, raised around, functioning things. That's such a custom scene. Crime family, like the Genovese, but I got NFTs. Good morning, America. I'm high as fuck on NBC. How did I get here? Benji threw it in 5th gear. Virgil Jordan 1 set in black. I got like 6 pairs. My wrist wear, cool my body. 6E with Cuccinati. Never sold my soul or read no contract for Illuminati. I illuminate the room without 1,000 goons. Bad police, they watch the news and follow cars, they catch the moves. Problems seem to follow us, it's proven that the trenches get more sentences than scholarships. It's different steps in politics. I'm Fred Hampton, I'm Huey Newton, I'm Fred Sanford. I'm Richard Pryor, Denzel Washington, and the Ray of Anson. I'm David Ruffin, I'm Pee Wee Kirkland. I've seen some churches, I've seen some hospitals, I've seen some nurses. I'm Ice Cube, I'm Keenan Ivory Wayans, and low down Dirty Shame. Shorty look like Jada Pinkett, that don't mind riding the train. We are not the same, that little thought, just get it out your brain. We ain't sports when it come to extortion, it's in the game. Unbelievable. Most of the killers that I know ain't got no Instagram. Most of the hitters that I know ain't got no Twitter. Most of the gangsters that I know don't be on TikTok. They daughter or they son is. Nigga, you ain't no killer. Most of the killers that I know ain't got no Instagram. Most of the hitters that I know ain't got no Twitter. Most of the gangsters that I know don't be on TikTok. Claiming you a killer. Every day you post a picture. Unbelievable.
Still blowing smoke off the sofa. Chiefing off the key, feel like Sosa. Before we hit the streets, meet the chauffeur. Like Offset, I do it for the culture. But I'm more like Pennywise meets the Joker. And here's another verse to feed you vultures. They social media, just mediocre. And it ain't La Vida Loca. If they are what they eating chocha. I keep my friends closer, my frenemies even closer.
About his secret 7-member drug council composed of the most successful black heroin dealers in New York, some of whom attended this birthday party for Barnes in the middle 70s. According to Barnes, they shared an oath of brotherhood and loyalty to one another.
The oath of brotherhood was 7 words. Treat my brother as I treat myself.
Rolling down I-95, damn near crash, daydreaming, I got cash in my eyes. Need to pull it over, put some gas in the ride, get some air fresheners and not past 65. Need to make it there, then make it back. Thinking that we gon' make it, have faith in that. Rolling down I-95, know I'm dead wrong, but I'm staying headstrong, cause I'm trying to survive.
He was speeding on the highway, on the West Side Highway one night, about 2 in the morning. And when I read the paper the next morning, they were saying that this guy fishing caught with $1 million in the trunk. He went from 17 out of a man, 18 pounds.
Let's check this migrant story out. This is how a small Wisconsin community is responding to a recent migrant surge. Let's see. Wow. So complications resulting from an influx of migrants aren't limited to big cities like New York and Chicago. PBS Wisconsin's Nathan Denzen went to the small city of Whitewater in southern Wisconsin and reports on the effects there. Let's see. This John Yang person says, he's a person they interviewed or talked to, said the complications resulting from the influx of migrants isn't limited to just big cities like New York and Chicago. PBS Wisconsin's Nathan Denzen went to a small city in southern Wisconsin to see the effects there. My apologies, I read that before already. Let's get to the article. So there's transcripts, right? Because there was a meeting about this out here in Whitewater. So there's audio too. There's transcripts. So like, if you're reading the transcripts, like some people sound like they're cool with the migration, and some people sound like they're not. You know, even the police chief says that he would like for them to have driver's licenses and stuff like that. Especially, like I've said that before, like, because I've heard people say, oh, well, people come over here and they get all this and this and that and all this other stuff, right? And I'm just thinking, okay, well, wouldn't you want a driver's license? Wouldn't you want to be able to have ID? Wouldn't you want to have access to being checked out and make sure you're healthy and that you're not, you know, getting sick and not getting anyone else sick or spreading any kind of disease or germs and stuff like that? Like, why wouldn't you want people that are coming here? Because no matter how we individually feel about migration, the fact of the matter is they're here, they've been here, and they're still coming. Do you realize there's all these like federal programs and stuff like that they create so migrants can come over here and work? We just don't hear about the majority of it. You and I, we wouldn't hear anything about immigration. We wouldn't be hearing about migrants coming over here and none of that unless you either took the time up to look the subject up yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or unless, you know, you were literally a migrant or whatever. But the only time we really hear about it is when, you know, every 4 years when the election cycles roll around, they start making it an issue again. You know, and it's usually Republicans making it an issue, and it's Democrats, you know, trying to like meet somewhere in the middle. You know what I'm saying? But let's see what they are talking about, y'all. And this is there's articles from this year too. This is from March of this year, so this is recent. Migrants are here. They've been coming, so it isn't like this is, you know what I'm saying, this stuff is brand new. Okay, let's see, here we go. I'm gonna just play the audio is 5 minutes, so basically, you know what I'm saying, it's a community meeting they were having. And this is from the PBS News Weekend by Nathan Denson, Wisconsin Public Television. Let's see, and this is from PBS NewsHour, March 23rd, 2024. So I'll play a couple minutes of the audio, and if you're not interested, then just fast forward. But this is going to be about 3.5 minutes long.
The complications resulting from the influx of migrants isn't limited to just big cities like New York and Chicago. PBS Wisconsin's Nathan Denzine went to a small city in southern Wisconsin to see the effects there.
It's another generation of families coming here trying to get jobs, you know, feed their children, get their children through school.
Since 2022, around 800 to 1,000 migrants from Central and South America have come to Whitewater, Wisconsin, putting a strain on local resources. Some of the most vulnerable in that population are children.
We're trying our best to really, how can we advocate for these children?
Miguel Aranda is a member of the Whitewater School Board and a second-generation immigrant from Mexico. With this new influx of students, Aranda says the school district needs more funding. Wisconsin currently sits on a $3 billion budget surplus.
I would understand if there's no money, we have to make hard decisions. But to know that there's a surplus, it almost looks like the money is being dwindled right in front of our faces.
But there are people and organizations who have already stepped up to act as a stopgap for the new arrivals.
Our mission is to meet the needs of the community, whatever they are.
We know that they're here because if they've never been here before and they come in and see all these things and we tell them that they can just have it, they don't understand.
Christine Zabayos and Kay Robers are co-founders of the community space in Whitewater. Their mission is to provide everything a person might need, from bedding to furniture to food, all for free.
I just saw a white migrant.
I had the privilege of witnessing somebody coming in.
But they're not talking about them. But I just saw, as a matter of fact, I just saw 2 European migrants.
Some food, some whatever. And
in that crowd.
Slowly relax and realize we're not going to ask them for any papers.
The community space has been accepting donations since 2019, but has ramped up its efforts in the last 2 years.
Well, I'd certainly like to say that there has been no crisis. Have we had to stretch and adjust? Absolutely.
They are open Tuesdays, Wednesday nights, and Saturdays as a complement to the local food pantry.
I can stand up in the middle of the room and say, is there anyone here that's bilingual? And inevitably I'll get a 9-year-old child, which is awesome, and I always say to the child, isn't your mother proud of you? Tell her you did a really good job and we're proud of you.
We like to think that half of what we do is what we share and give away, and half of what we do is how we make people feel.
Beyond food and shelter, migrants face a number of challenges when they first get here. Finding a job, speaking a new language, and driving are top of mind. Jorge Islas Martinez, an advocate and a first-generation immigrant from Mexico, says undocumented migrants are not allowed to obtain a driver's license in Wisconsin.
We don't have public transportation. The only transportation that we have is taxi. The taxi only is available here in Whitewater from 7:30 in the morning until 5 o'clock.
I see it as a huge safety issue. I mean, if we're having people, especially driving in snow for the first time, that is not a good situation.
Dan Meyer is the chief of police in Whitewater.
If somebody's able to come here and take all of the testing, the written test, physically do the driving test so that they are safer as a driver, I'm all for that.
Nearly 20 states allow undocumented immigrants to obtain a driver's license.
I think the underlying theory here is that we know we need resources. For us in law enforcement, this is apolitical. We simply need more staffing.
Meyer says that over the last 2 years, his department's work has gotten much more difficult and time-consuming.
One of the things that has been difficult for us as law enforcement is just working with a population that, generally speaking, is not trusting of government because they come from a place where they don't trust their government.
To try
and the other part of that, there's the language barrier. You know what I mean? Especially now with how stuff is. Because believe me, they done got the word. The Latinos, they done got the word that the white man basically wants to kick them out the country. Right? I mean, that's basically what's going on when you cut through all the bullshit. These white people don't want you in this country if you're black or brown. That's basically the whole gist of it, right? So, and that's based in racism. But when people can't see that, that's just as concerning as the racism almost, that people can't see that. You know what I mean? Because we need everyone to notice this stuff and stop being complicit or whatever that word is. And it sounds like y'all just heard that police captain or chief out there or whatever. He's for the migrants. He's for the migrants, and you just heard him say he's for them having driver's licenses and stuff because that benefits everybody. Because I hear some people saying, oh, why are they getting driver's licenses when they come up here? And why are they getting this? And why are they getting that? So then the alternative would be for them to come up here, basically not even be identified, basically. Have no insurance, have no driver's license, have no way to identify them. So then, let's say, because you guys are always worried about migrant crime. So let's just entertain that for 1 second. Let's say migrants are coming up here and they're killing and doing all this stuff that they're not doing. I mean, everyone commits crime. But if we're side note, if we're truly, and I say we, I just mean us in general, if we're truly concerned about stopping crime, well then why don't we get the domestic terrorists There's a lot of white domestic terrorists and these hate groups, these white hate groups, these Proud Boys and all that bullshit. Why don't we round them up and kick them out the country? They're more dangerous than any fucking migrant that's coming here to work, keep their head down, and just, you know, try to make a positive future for them and their family. The majority of migrants, that's what I was saying. Just in Wisconsin, we have over 70,000 immigrants or migrant or whatever we're calling people. Over 70,000. That's a lot. And they're amongst us. They're out here living, eating, breathing just like we are. You walk past a migrant every fucking day of your life. You probably had one cut your grass earlier this summer too, I bet you. And I bet you didn't ask them for their green card or their paperwork. That's what I'll be saying. Like, people need to get over themselves, because the majority of this stuff that people try to act like they're up in arms about, they're really not. It's something to run on. Because with all these undocumented migrants, you know between the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of migrants that are here in Wisconsin, I'd be willing to bet dollars to donuts at least half of them don't got no paperwork or none of that shit. Not in the process or nothing like that to citizenship. They're just here working every day. You heard the lady saying the thing that run that facility out there in Whitewater. She said, we don't ask them for their paperwork. We ain't asking them for no paperwork. You know what I'm saying? It's like we always got here in the United States. It's like we not always, but it's like we put ourselves on this pedestal. And it's just like all these fake borders. Those are just fake borders. And what really gets me is like, and I know I've said it a million times, but it's kind of hard to swallow that pill, you know, saying, you know, when basically the white man and then some black and brown people nowadays too don't want Latin people in this country, when in reality, you know, a lot of that southern border states and stuff like that were originally Mexico back in the day, but it, you know, that's so far and long ago. It's like no one wants to respect, not no one, but you know, it seems like a lot of people don't want to either talk about that history or respect that history. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it, man. That white man, I'm saying in general, that white man is brutalized. If you got color in your skin, you black and brown, I don't care what shade you are, anything like that, you're going to get looked at and treated less than, for the most part, by white people. For the most part. I just say all. I said for the most part. And it's proven out to be that way because the majority of the white people that voted this past presidential election, they supported Trump. You know, and the smaller half of the good white people is what I call them. They can't take on the bad white people. They can't take them on. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have to band together. The good white people, the good black people, the good Latin people, the good Asian people, all that need to come together. And I know that word come together is kind of tricky because that's tough. When you have, you know, a lot of different people like with a lot of different views and all that kind of, it's kind of tough to get people to come together. But people are about to reap what you sow. And I'm gonna just stay the fuck out the way. I'm gonna stay out the way. I'm gonna complete this parole. And yeah, it's a cold world out here though, but basically my thing is, and I truly believe people don't really care about migration that much. unless you're a stone cold racist and shit like that, no one really cares about that. Not in true reality. Most people do not get up in the morning worrying about where a migrant is or if a migrant's coming to take their job. And I've said this a few other times. I'd be more worried about, especially like if you're in a professional field or like anything like that. Let's say you work in TV. Let's say you're a TV, news anchor or, something working in that kind of field. Wouldn't you be more worried about someone from Illinois or someone from Minnesota or someone from Indiana or, wherever coming up here and potentially taking a job for you, a job from you in like media? Let's say you love sports, you want to be a sportscaster. Because I see a lot just in our news industry here, news and like sports, just here locally. If you look at our radio stations and our TV news stations and stuff like that, a big chunk of the people that they have are not even from Wisconsin. A lot of the local radio personalities, they're from Illinois. They're not even from Wisconsin. But they'll be up here talking Wisconsin sports, talking Wisconsin politics, all this kind of stuff. So if someone from Illinois comes up here and gets a radio gig or a sports, radio gig or, on the news or whatever, and they're coming from Illinois, Indiana, Florida, wherever they come from, whose job are they taking? You know what I'm saying? There's plenty, just on our local radio station, on the radio station I listen to, half the staff there ain't even from here. They got one radio personality. She's from Texas. She's from Indiana, but lives in Texas. Half the week she does the show from Texas, here in Milwaukee, but she's in Texas doing the show. Her co-host is not from here. He's from Illinois. Transplant. You know what I mean? So they're coming up here taking these radio jobs, these sports jobs, stuff like that. A lot of the news people you see on TV, locally, or even whatever state you're from, a lot of them ain't even from the state they're from. So who's taking what jobs? I'm not worried about a Mexican coming up here and taking, especially like highlight professional type jobs. The majority of Latin people that are coming over here, what type of work are they doing? Let's just keep it real. And I'd be willing to bet dollars to donuts. Oh, that phrase too? Because some people are probably like, what does he mean, dollars to donuts? So I'm saying basically, if I lose a bet, I'll pay you in dollars. And if you lose a bet, you can pay me in donuts. Because that's how confident I am that I'd win. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it's a cold world out here, you know what I mean? That's why I say everything is about race. Everything, or mostly everything, is about race. Whether it's you making it about race or somebody else making it about race. This world is about race. And stereotypes and class and all that stuff. I know we talk about it a lot. But people see you, they look at you, and then they stereotype you and then put you into a box. Or they try to judge you based off, a couple second interaction. I know I'm going all over the place now, but yeah. But bottom line is, who are we to tell who and who can't be around and who can't be somewhere? That's what I've always had an issue with. But yeah, I'd be more worried about that. Because most Latin people that are coming up here to the country, what type of jobs do you see them doing? They're working in restaurants. They're fucking doing some type of, cleaning or whatever, or they're, working in hotels. They're doing landscaping, agricultural stuff. They're roofing. They're cutting grass. You know what I'm saying? They're taking out garbage. They're building homes for cheap. Who do you think's building a lot of them homes? Just throughout the country. They'll be having them Latinos building them houses, getting paid half of what, you know what I'm saying? If you were working under some contract or whatever, you were, you know what I'm saying? They probably ain't even getting paid half of what they should. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But just wanted to highlight that. So basically my point is that people don't really care about immigration that much until you ask them about it. And trust and believe, like a lot of these states, like they're considered sanctuary cities or what, they're going to fight this stuff. People got rules and laws in place to try to fight this shit. You know what I mean? And a lot of that was put in place because remember when Trump first came out and he was banning Muslims and stuff like that? So he's always been like that. You know what I mean? But it's unfortunate that some of us are just too dumb to just see what he's doing. His goal, and it's always been his goal, is just divide everybody. Divide the country. You know what I'm saying? To get everyone mad and upset with each other while they just sit there and laugh at us all. That's what they're doing with this migration shit. It's like every race and creed of color or people are arguing and fussing and fighting with each other, basically. And that white man is just sitting there laughing at all of us while we fight over the crumbs that they choose to give us. That's what I don't like. How we sit there and fuss and fight with each other. It's just like, damn, dude, we're fighting the same. We have the same common enemy here. But for some reason, we can't seem to figure that out. And we want to take everything out on each other. That's crazy to me. But like I said, if you supported Trump, you're going to have to reap what you sow. You are going to have to reap what you sow. Because everyone was trying to tell y'all, and you just didn't want to listen. And now people are to the point where they're like, well, fuck that. I don't care. We tried telling y'all. So you gotta lay in your bed. You gotta lay in them dookie booty. You gotta lay in them dookie sheets. The shitty dookie sheets. That's what you gotta lay in. Yep. So, and my conscience is clear because I know, I supported the right candidate. I supported Kamala Harris. Michelle supported Kamala Harris. My family supported Kamala Harris. So we don't have to feel guilty or bad about anything, because we made the right choice. We didn't make a we didn't choose selfishly. That's the thing, it seems like a lot of people were voting for one thing. Voting off of one thing. And then not truly understanding what they were voting for or against. Because I'm hearing it too. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing people saying, I'm hearing them Trump supporters saying that they got buyer's remorse. Because they know they fucked up. 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 But the toothpaste is out the tube now. Can you imagine? There's going to be a lot of because the holidays are coming up too. Can you imagine all the family Thanksgivings and the Christmas and stuff like that? People done got invited and shit like that. Can you imagine what some of these Thanksgiving and Christmas tables are going to be like? People are going to be upset at each other, not speaking or whatever, or not showing up, not coming, uninviting people and stuff like that. This is definitely the most consequential election. Oh, this is my thing. So for the Trump supporters, when you guys were saying, I have a serious question to ask y'all. So when y'all were out here saying that, oh, this is the most consequential election and we have so much to lose if Kamala wins and all that. Okay, so if Kamala would have won, tell me, this is for you Trump supporters, tell me how your life would have got that much worse. Or your life would have just went down the fucking hill. Explain to me what that looks like. So if Kamala won, what do you currently have now that you won't have when she's president? Are they coming to take your house? Are they coming to take your car? Are they coming to take your kids? Are they coming to steal your wife? Are they coming to take all your money out your bank account? Are they coming to take you to jail? Are they coming to... what does that mean when people say that? Versus, I can give you plenty of reasons why life would be shittier if Trump won. You see what I'm saying? I can give examples. But what can you Trumpers, what negative outcomes, if she wins, can you provide us? None. What could a Trumper say? You just don't like her. You just don't like her skin. That's what it is. And that's why I'm sick of saying, this will be the last time I say it about why she lost. It's because of race. Between all of us, white, black, Latin, whatever. Enough of us couldn't elect a black woman, basically. You can, and that's the thing, and that's what I was saying, because I started getting worried about the election, and I was telling Michelle, I was like, I'm a little nervous because I don't trust white people. You can't get that many white people to support somebody black. They've never had to consider voting for a black woman as president before. That's why a lot of them couldn't pull the trigger. They were going in that booth and just being like, fuck it, I just can't. I really want, maybe next time. But, yeah, people are about to reap what they sow. But I do feel bad, though, because a lot of families are going to be, broke up because of this. Not only because of the migration stuff, because they're going to be kicking people out the country, but just families divided, emotionally because of what happened with the election, So you're going to, like that. So it's just a negative ripple effect in general if you think about it. But... I always say protect your peace, you know what I'm saying? And just avoid any kind of conversations with people, especially if they're Trump supporters, because that's the thing with them. A lot of them are unapproachable. You can't dialogue with them. You know what I mean? And you can't even really just have a legit, just free-flowing conversation with them. Because they're so bitter and angry. And they truly can't tell you why. Well, they know why. We all know why. 75% of the people that voted for Trump, they voted for him because he's a racist. 75% of them. I say at least 7 out of 10 Trump supporters are racist. Or they're okay with people being treated that way. You know what I mean? But yep, you guys gotta pick Matt Gaetz to be his attorney general. Don't you have to have some experience and don't you at least need to be a lawyer to begin with? Yep, you guys. Yeah, that Trump, he is not my president. He ain't my president. He is not my president. And the last thing I'll say is we've had 45 white presidents. How's that working out for black and brown people? Yeah. And that's the thing. If you're black or brown and you supported Trump and you have a radio show or you have any kind of your shit should be in the tank now. No one should be supporting that bullshit. But anyways, I'm going to get out of here now. I'm going to get myself ready for work. Thanks for listening. And I was just kind of rambling this morning, just kind of, just recapping stuff and talking about life or whatever. But I'm slowly, I ain't going to say getting over this migration stuff, but, life goes on. Life goes on, you know what I mean? Oh, side note, we're going to see Wanda Sykes this weekend. My mother, me, Michelle, my brother, Nicole, the kids, we're going to see Wanda Sykes. I'm not a huge Wanda Sykes fan. I don't really think she's all that funny and shit like that. But she's a black comedian, so I'm going to go support her. Yep. So it'll be fun. I mean, I'm not saying she's bad. I'm just saying, like, she's not all super funny to me. But that doesn't mean that I could not end up liking it. I'm sure she'll say a few funny things or whatever, but yeah. So we're going to do that. And plus, too, it's about just spending the quality time with your family, too. And just, all doing something together or whatever. And I think we could all use a little laughter now. So that's how I'm looking at that. Yeah. So I am going to get out of here, though, now, and I'll maybe pour another cup of coffee and then start getting ready for work. And we just want to say thanks to everyone that's listening. Had a lot of people checking in with us. Let's see what's going on. Let me check these stats real quick, y'all. Because I like to shout out people that are listening, you know what I mean? Yep. So we're closing in, 4,000. Let's see. Ooh, Wisconsin, Illinois, Virginia, Cali, Arizona, Maryland, Michigan. Shout out Texas. Texas came home. Texas is back. That's crazy because we were just saying, was it yesterday maybe? Michelle and I were doing the stats and we were like, where's Texas at? Because they usually holler at us and stuff and listen to the episodes. Because like I was saying, you can see like what states are listening to your podcast. You can't see specifically who, individually, but it'll show you the number of downloads from each state or whatever, and how many listeners, but no specifics. Like it's not going to tell you exactly who the person is that's listening and stuff like that. So yeah, shout out Texas, shout out Missouri, New York, Georgia, Maryland, Nevada, California. Shout out Virginia though. Virginia are some real ones. They remained blue on the map as far as the election goes. They remained blue. You know what I'm saying? And they've been a loyal listener of Michelle and I. Every month they're showing up. Shout out Missouri. Yep. Shout out Georgia. Florida. Tennessee. Oh, in Minnesota. Yep, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan. Shout out Michigan. But we thank y'all for listening. Let's see about the world. The world, Craig. So we got Australia listeners. This is for this month. I'm not reading every single thing because I don't want to bore y'all. But United States, Australia, Belgium, Switzerland, and Portugal have all checked in with us for the month. Yeah? That's worldwide, y'all. Not on no big scale or nothing, obviously, but that's worldwide. That means people are listening to us all throughout the world. Yeah? Australia, Belgium, Switzerland, and Portugal. Yeah? Got people listening on the Alexas, the Google Chromes, the Spotifys, the Podbeans, the iHeartRadios, and the Safari. And let me just, I'm gonna let y'all know some of the like popular episodes. So these are the top 10 most downloaded episodes between November 1st and November 14th. of this year. So, you know, if anyone's interested in going back to listen to some of these. So our November 4th episode, we've had 14 downloads. November 8th episode, we've had 11 downloads. And then a lot of people liked the June 25th, 2024 episode. That's the Demi Moore was kissing a 14-year-old boy. What the hell? There's a lot of some racial conversation in there, too, because I went back and listened to it. And I was like, oh, okay, this was a good episode, though. It was when I went back and listened to it. I was like, this is pretty solid. Because we were talking about a lot of other stuff in there. So, yeah, y'all go back out and check the June 25th episode. We had, 16 downloads for that one this month. And then on November 7th is a top episode. We had 2 November 7ths. So y'all can go check them out. Yep, it's called, we titled it, this is the November 7th episode. We titled it, Let Me Explain What Acting White Means. And being on a work visa is really like being on parole. It is. If you're on a work visa here, you're on parole, basically. You're on parole, basically. You can't vote. Because I'm on parole. I can't vote. So if you're a visa holder, you can't vote. You have to work. I have to work. As part of, me being on parole, I have to work. You know what I mean? You got to pay your taxes. You got to work. Can't own a firearm. All that kind of stuff. Got to check in. Got to call in. If you want to buy anything or whatever, you got to ask them. So basically, and that's the same thing for people on visas. You can't fart wrong on a visa. They'll send you up out of here quick. But just think about it. If you're here on a work visa, they can't vote. You know what I mean? Certain stuff that they probably can't purchase. They can't own a firearm and none of that shit. And they're made to work. Same thing as parole. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. So what you think, baby? What's your over it level as far as the election? Where you at 10 being you're still going through it, and no, 1 would be you're not still doing well. 10 would be you're doing well as far as the election laws. Like, where are you at?
I think I'm actually at like a 5.
Me too.
Now I'm at the stage of
the grieving stage.
I'm done with the grieving, and now I'm like, wait, who's he putting to that? Man. Like, now the craziness, like the reality, the crazy is setting in.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, Matt Gaetz for Attorney General?
Like, what are we doing here?
Like, the pillar of ethical and moral behavior?
Like, this guy,
really?
Like, doesn't he has all kinds of shit going on, don't he? Wasn't he sleeping with underage girls and shit?
Oh, kitty cat.
Get across the street, cat. I hate seeing, like,
I know,
cats that are out here just free for all. At least they got their claws and so they can defend themselves. But
yeah. Anyway, he resigned the day, like 2 days before. He just resigned yesterday.
Oh, really?
But he resigned 2 days before the ethics committee was going to release their report on their investigation of him.
Oh.
First of all, if you're being investigated by an ethics committee,
that means that's a problem.
Right.
That is a problem. And you want him to be Attorney General? And
okay, now these lines are even more goofy. Who's the city planner?
This shit. Yeah, this.
So, like, it doesn't just like, I mean, it's typical Trump. Like, he thinks, it's probably a witch hunt who cares if you diddle a little, you know.
That's what he thinks too, ain't it?
I'm sure it is.
Because he's like that.
Because he's like that, yes.
Right.
So, but like it's just interesting that he resigned.
Mm-hmm.
Because what if, like, you still have to get approved to be in that position?
That's what I'm saying, like, man.
And there's
like,
even a lot of Republicans that are like, no, he's not.
they got, even some of them Republicans got to be like, behind closed doors, got to be like, wait, what the fuck? Dude just did that.
Like, he's the one that held up the
government shit. Wasn't he like part of the reason the government was being shut down and all that kind of stuff?
They finally put lights here.
And didn't he hate that Kevin McCarthy dude
yes,
for some reason? They hated it. I love seeing them two white guys argue with each other. I loved it.
He got Kevin McCarthy basically fired. And then he kept, remember, like, they couldn't decide on a new speaker because Matt Gaetz was.
So he's gonna be Trump's little basically.
But like, I don't think he'll get like approved to it.
I'm hoping not.
Although I didn't think Trump was going to be.
Don't you even have
so.
right? Don't you have to be at least a lawyer to be an attorney general? Because like I heard a lot of people saying dudes like straight up like not qualified at all.
I mean, he's probably just not qualified, but...
Was he going to learn on the job or some bullshit? What is this? What are we doing out here? They're literally playing with people's lives.
Right. So...
Like, that's a slap in the face, man.
But, like, why would you resign if you didn't do anything wrong?
Exactly. A lot of... Man, that shit. And you know what else I'd like to see change? And it won't, but I would like to see cops, when they fuck up and shit and they get sued or whatever, they need to pay out their pocket, their own pocket. I don't feel like the city should have to settle and pay their lawsuits and shit like that, because then the person that did the shit ain't really being punished. They're not really being punished.
Well, and mainly because they can just quit and then go to another.
Right. That's crazy.
Which is something
as hell.
that'll never happen now, like that accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that national database they were talking about?
Yeah, that Brady list.
Yeah.
Like there's cops here. Not too far from, just out in the suburbs, out in Bayside. I think there was a couple of cops that were identified as the Oath Keepers and shit like that. Man, and those people are driving around patrolling our cities and pulling our people over and shit like that, and they got hate in their heart.
Right.
That's crazy as hell.
So you know who's not getting a position?
Byron Donaldson's black European land grabber sympathizer. Where are all the black people in Trump's cabinet? I ain't seen nobody. The only brown skin I seen is that clown Vivek Ramaswamy, but he thinks he's white anyway. So.
And Tulsi Gabbard.
On that Tulsi Gabbard. She thinks she's white too, and she's a brown girl. She's native, ain't she?
Yeah.
She's a Native American. She should know her goddamn history better than, or just as well as all of us, man.
Oh,
And
don't
that
worry,
shit's
in 4
crazy.
years she'll be on CNN.
Exactly. Like, yep, all the. Yep.
But you know who's not been selected for a position?
Who?
Our friend Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, Butch May, body, Butch May, lifting weights in the garage and not showering after Butch May, Marjorie. Remember she came on Sherwin and said she wasn't a racist? He straight up asked her, Marjorie, are you a racist? No, not at all. She said it like twice. That means that's when you know that the person is, when they gotta like make a point to repeat it twice. And then in the same sentence be saying racial bullshit. I wish Sherwin would have checked her a little more on that. You know what I mean? And I wish, I ain't gonna lie, I think one thing, and I know a lot played into like Democrats losing the election, but I really wish Chevy Johnson, our mayor here in Milwaukee, wouldn't have brought that RNC here to Milwaukee, especially to a battleground state.
And like,
let them have that shit somewhere else.
And we didn't even make the kind of revenue that we were promised.
Nope.
And then they just jacked up the city, and they came here, them cops from Ohio came here killing our residents. Yeah, them Ohio police, they're bogus. They just killed somebody. I just read a story, I think it was yesterday. They're out there killing people still. Yeah, I didn't like that. Because, like, where is the money? Chevy brought that here for revenue for Milwaukee. Like, well, can we see the reports of, like how do we benefit here in this city?
Look into it, because I don't think we need the money we were promised.
Nope. But the Republicans benefited.
And they, like, reserved all these restaurants, so then they weren't, like, taking reservations.
Even Riverside here.
Yep, they promised an event at Riverside, then canceled at the last minute.
Yep, the Republicans.
That happened, like, all over.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So people were closing their places and just, like, not making money, and then these Republicans were lying to them.
Closed all week for private parties, and they had one thing.
They had one thing there. Yep. All right, y'all, we're going to head to work. Hopefully y'all are doing the same, and peace. Little LOX here, y'all. Thanks for listening. Enjoy this music. Best rap group ever. Most loyal rap group ever.
Strung on crack. By that girl having age, she was 12 years old. That's the sting by the tell, got the beat so cold. Why these niggas hit with so many years? Whole family in court crying so many tears. Can you picture us living with hope? When the same one hanging us is giving us dope. Shit, it's hard to get by. I pray to God it's still hard to get by. Just wanna hold my son, but I can't leave my house until I load my gun. I got to grab my sword. And when I die, I got some things I want to ask the Lord. Like, why are we dying from AIDS? Why on TV is like if you from it? Ain't that sort of like my gun got a right to be waved? If I can sit back and watch the whole life of slaves, that's my man with a bless at. That's myself with the next Malcolm X at. Is it making a lot? All the state like an ape in the box. Am I human or all danger? Got to pray by myself cause I'm out of anger. I ain't facing the east. Tell the brothers I was shaking the bills.
So I don't know if y'all have heard about, it's called Operation Wetback. This is basically what Trump is about to implement. This mass deportation shit. A lot of it, they're taking from this Operation Wetback, which they did, back in the day. So I'll just read a little bit of it for you guys and play a little audio clip. And I would recommend you going down and doing some of your own research on this, especially if you're Latin. You know what I mean? So basically, they've been hating on white people have been hating on us forever. So Operation Wetback was an immigration law enforcement initiative created by Joseph Swing, a retired United States Army Lieutenant General and head of the United States Immigration and Naturalization Service, or INS. The program was implemented in June 1954 by U.S. Attorney General Herbert Brownell. The short-lived operation used military-style tactics to remove Mexican immigrants, some of them American citizens, from the United States. And that's what he's talking about doing now, deporting people that are legal. Though millions of Mexicans had legally entered the country through joint immigration programs in the first half of the 20th century, and some who were naturalized citizens who were once native, Operation Wetback was designed to send them to Mexico. There's a picture here. Wow, there's a picture here of them literally it looks like a shark cage. The U.S. Border Patrol packed Mexican immigrants into trucks when transporting them to the border for deportation during Operation Wetback. Yeah, there's a picture of here. They're just all caged in here like sardines. It looks like one of them shark tanks, you know what I'm saying, that they drop down into the water and shit when them people in there fucking with them sharks. It looks like that with a bunch of people inside of it. The program became a contentious issue in Mexico United States relations, even though it originated from a request by the Mexican government to stop the illegal entry of Mexican laborers into the United States. Legal entry of Mexican workers for employment was at the time controlled by the Bracero program, established during World War II by an agreement between the U.S. and Mexican governments. Operation Wetback was primarily a response to pressure from a broad coalition of farmers and business interests concerned with the effects of legal immigration from Mexico. Upon implementation, Operation Wetback gave rise to arrests and deportations by the U.S. Border Patrol. Let's see. Yeah. At its peak, the Bracero program allotted around 309,000 contracts to Mexican laborers. What followed was a series of repatriations. Under the name Operation Wetback. Similar repatriations can be seen during the Great Depression. Operation Wetback was a program of massive apprehensions and deportations aimed at undocumented Mexican nationals by the U.S. Border Patrol and alongside the Mexican government. Planning between the INS led by General Joseph Swing, as appointed by President Eisenhower, and the Mexican government began in early 1954, while the program was formally announced in May 1954. Harlan Carter, then head of the Border Patrol, was a leader of Operation Wetback. In June, command teams of 12 Border Patrol agents, buses, planes, and temporary processing stations began locating, processing, and deporting Mexicans who had illegally and legally entered the United States. A total of 750 immigration and Border Patrol officers and investigators, 300 jeeps, cars and buses, and 7 airplanes were allocated for their operation. Teams were focused on quick processing as planes were able to coordinate with ground efforts and quickly deport people into Mexico. Those deported were handed off to Mexican officials, who in turn moved them into central Mexico, where there were many labor opportunities. While the operation included the cities of Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Chicago, its main targets were border areas in Texas and California. Overall, there were 1,074,277 returns, defined as confirmed movement of an inadmissible or deportable alien out of the United States, not based on an order of removal in the first year of Operation Wetback. This included many workers without papers who fled to Mexico fearing arrest, over 500,000 from Texas alone. The total number of sweeps fell to just 242,608 in 1955 and continuously declined each year until 1962, when there was a slight rise in apprehended workers. Despite the decline in sweeps, the total number of Border Patrol agents more than doubled to 1,692 by 1962, and an additional plane was added to the force. I'll read this last paragraph. During the entirety of the operation, border recruitment of illegal workers by American growers continued, due largely to the low cost of illegal labor and the desire of growers to avoid the bureaucrat obstacles of the Bracero program. The continuation of legal immigration, despite the efforts of Operation Wetback, along with public outcry over many U.S. citizens removed, was largely responsible for the failure of the program. Because of these factors, Operation Wetback lost funding. Even the name is racist. Operation Wetback, that's a racist name. That's what they call Mexican people. They literally named the program like the program resulted in a more permanent strategic border control presence along the Mexico-United States border. So, date June 9th, California roundup and deportation begins. Phase 1, Arizona, California, Operation Bus Lift. That's what they called it. The Greyhound bus leaves El Centro, California, bound for Nogales, Arizona. On board are detainees from the San Francisco Regional Detention Center. See, they were putting them in cages, basically. It's the same thing that Trump was doing last time, remember? It's the same stuff. It's just different people in different time.
On board are detainees from the San Francisco Regional Detention Center and roadblock inspection captures. 28 buses transport 1,008 migrants to Arizona, where they will be transferred into the interior of Mexico. I'll just read this Phase 2 part. Phase 2 of California to Arizona. Wow. Operation Sweeps. The agricultural regions of Arizona and Southern California became primary sweep targets. INS authored employ the aid of farmers to reveal undocumented workers. Wow. Through the assistance of local police, 4,403 people are rounded up. 64% of them were working in non-agricultural jobs. Sweeps continue through Central Valley of California through bases set up in Fresno and Sacramento. Wow, yep, that shit's crazy, man. More airlifts from Kansas City, St. Louis, Memphis, and Dallas. From here, the deportees are sent to Veracruz by sea. September 3rd, first deportation by sea. The SS Emancipation and SS Veracruz sailed the 2,000-mile voyage from Port Isabel, Texas, to Veracruz, Mexico, a total of 26 times. Both ships transport around 800 illegal immigrants per voyage. Wow. They were airlifting them, boating them. Man, dude. All because you don't like the color of their skin. That's crazy as fuck to me. So, yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, baby, that Operation Wetback stuff.
Yeah.
I was just reading from, like, back in the day. It's the same shit they're doing now. I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking literally at this playbook and they're just going to, like, redo it. Yeah, and this was back, what, in 1954 or whatever? Yeah. Overall, there was 1,074,277 returnees. Wow.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah. And just the name of the thing was racist. Operation Wetback.
Right. Like, right off the gate, you're wrong.
Right. So that's basically what they're bringing back.
Some people's children.
Yep. You know what? That's true, baby. I blame. Because a lot of the people doing the brutality and being raped and doing all this shit are white people. Their parents, some of them, their parents should have raised them better. That's parenting. That's definitely some parenting, because the people that we call the good whites, why don't they act all crazy and shit like that? Because they were probably raised well. They learned, they were educated, you know what I mean? Are critical thinkers, you know? But there's bad people of every race, unfortunately. And I didn't make up color. You know what I mean? I've only been on this earth for a short while. Like, I didn't make up all these colors and categories that they put everyone into. That's what, everything gets put into a category. That's what we do as people. From the beginning of time, we put everything in a category, and then we judge it. Blue, black, red, white. You know what I'm saying? Black person, white person, yellow person. Yeah, they used to call Latin people, they used to call Mexican people way back in the day. Yellow. They used to call us yellow and shit. Yeah. Yeah, this shit's crazy, though. During the entirety of the operation, border recruitment of illegal workers by American growers continued, due largely to the low cost of illegal labor and the desire of growers to avoid the bureaucrat obstacles of the Bracero program. So, like, that's what I'm saying. People started hiding out migrants and stuff, you know, and hiding them out and stuff or whatever, because, you know, they wanted the money. And plus, probably some people probably just cared for them, like, damn, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, all them white people weren't, like, not for migrants. But, like, nowadays, because there's a lot of migrants coming up to these, like, work, like I was saying, work in these door counties, like in these suburb areas and stuff like that. And I think that's great.
This country is a melting pot. We're all immigrants. That's why Trump don't let Melania talk, really. You ever notice that Melania Trump, the reason she doesn't go up there and talk a lot is because her English is fucked up. She has broken English. She sounds like a migrant that they're saying that they don't want here. That's why they don't put her up there to talk. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, shouldn't she be on the list to be kicked out? You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't that Barron be kicked out the country? Hey, baby, shouldn't that Barron be kicked out the country?
What?
That Barron, Trump's son, shouldn't he be kicked out the country? I know he's got all kinds of stuff in him.
Right. What music do you have on?
That's actually NPR, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So relaxing.
Mm-hmm. Michelle's in here putting a little makeup on.
Can't look like a scuzzball.
Yeah, that's NPR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. NPR is a good station. A lot of good stories and stuff on that. National Public Radio. Y'all know what that is. Yeah. All right, we're about to get headed out to work. I'm just going to finish doing these last couple of things. And then we'll holler at everybody soon. The weekend's coming up, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah. Do something good for somebody today, though, too. Always keep yourself safe, though, and protect your peace. And thanks for listening to the episode, y'all. We'll holler at everyone soon. Peace.